Hello, everyone, and welcome to March 2020. Welcome to the monthly intuitive reading. Well, I honestly had a little bit of a mishap just before getting into this video, and I actually already registered one and I recorded one, but then at the end of the video, I realized that the microphone had a problem or something, so there was no sound. So I have to repeat that. But since the cards were really, how can I say, interesting, I will leave I will leave the cards that I drew for this reading because, funny enough, it barely happens. But this time, two of the three cards were the same cards and in the same position that I drew for the reading that I do in Spanish. So it was really surprising for me. And that, in a way, it also tells me that this bigger pattern or this, um, yeah, let's say this bigger pattern of vibration is actually acting in a wider range or way, or is a more, yeah, it's larger than we think, I think, because otherwise you will have like two different readings with very different cards. Or sometimes there's some similarities in the message, but this time the same exact cards was really a very surprising thing. Anyway, so if you are familiar with this reading, the first card is always about the general energies of the month, and I use normally the uh, Hebraic letters from Marie Elia, and I use as well, since I think last time, I use also the crystal card oracle from Tony Carmine. Just to clarify a little bit more on the Hebrew letters, because sometimes the Hebraic letters can be a little bit more abstract, and I would like you also to have some sort of concrete and practical application on these spiritual principles in your life, because otherwise it makes no sense to have a spiritual life if we cannot actually enact that in this plane. Anyway, so the first card, which is the general vibration, the general energy of the month, is the card of Shin, which is, as I said, the same card that we got into the reading that we do in Spanish, that I do in Spanish. So Shin is called also the Prince of Fire. Also, it's called the Secret Fire. So, as you see, it has to do with fire. It has to do with the fire of the soul. It has to do with the fire of spirit, the fire of our higher self, of our divine self. And is actually the one who comes and prompts us to transform something in our lives, that prompt us to change something. And it's also in the shamanic tradition, you can see it as it is fire, or not only in the shamanic tradition, but in many traditions. The fire is the one that transforms and alchemizes and really transmutes something that was in a lower uh, vibratory energy or in an energy that didn't serve us anymore into something new through the fire. Also, like the phoenix, it's kind of reborn from the ashes, so it's really from fire as well. So it's really about transformation through fire or through the giving away or giving up some old uh, identity, some old identity that needs to die. So, an identity can be also not just your profession or your status, or if you're a mother or a father or a spouse or whatever, but it can be also an identity of a characteristic. For instance, I could say, I'm not good at math. And that is something that just a very simple example, but just that could be something that I really carry around in my life, and I feel bad about it, and I feel not worthy of being loved because I believe that I was not uh, good at math. And it might be so, but I also claim that as mine, and I believe that, and I live through that. So this is the thing that the perspective of our higher self will help us to dissolve, will help us to transform, will help us to see that identity in a different way, in a different perspective, in a more wholesome perspective. And the card that came with that from the crystal cards is the Malakit, or yeah, Malakit. And the card of Malakit is talking about healing. It's talking about patience. It's talking about a positive transformation that is happening right now, or that is happening also in the month of March. And that it has to do also with the idea of becoming whole, of becoming um, complete. So if there is, I mean, if we tie it up with the card of Shin, if there's an energy or there's an aspect that we identify ourselves with, and that is basically limiting our identity or ourselves into one specific aspect, when we liberate that, when we transform that, we are able to um, see ourselves in a more complete way, in a unity with creation. So we are part of the creation. We are not just the one that is not good at math, to say something. And Malakit is also talking about letting go, or finally letting go of a certain guilt or regret, and to realize that everything that we live is actually happening for a purpose. Sometimes the purpose is kind of not straightforward, so you cannot see it right away, but eventually you will see why you were probably in a certain difficult situation, so you could eventually make different choices that are more aligned with what your higher self, your divine self, your Christ self, whatever you want to call it, is actually asking you to do, because it's best for you, not because he's asking you or he's over you. Then the second card in the second position is always about what is the advice that the cards are telling us, so that we can take advantage of the energies of the month, so that we are able, because that's the purpose of this work, is always to integrate or to embody, or to incarnate more aspects of our divine selves into our life. And no wonder we get Bet, and Bet has the energy of, um, on one hand, it has the energy of the eternal home. So it's like uh, our home, our last home of the universal home, the cosmic mother as well. So the cosmic mother is also about embracing everything. So the cosmic mother does not let anyone out of her reach. It's really this divine mother who will not um, let anyone out. And I mean that in the sense that she will not separate you're good, you're bad, or this you are allowed to be whole within my womb and you are not. So there's no judgment and there's no um, division. And it is actually also asking us to bless, because it's also the action of blessing Bet. So Bet is actually asking us to bless everything. When we are blessing everything and everyone, no matter how difficult the circumstances are, and it's actually what is happening right now, and it's very, I think it's very important to do it while it's happening. So this relates to people and to events and to everything that we see around us. So Bet is actually asking us to bless that, to bless the fact that that exists, that the coronavirus is there, that the tornadoes are there, that the economy is not going well. So it doesn't mean that you are always happy with the consequences of those events, but it means that you are recognizing that those events and those circumstances are also part of the creation, and they come from the same source that all the good things, or that our mind or our human condition will judge as good. And so we are encompassing everything in this wonderful creation, just like Bet does. Just Bet really includes, you can see also this kind of spirals of gold light around. So it's really doing that. It's really bringing everyone and everything inside. And when we are starting to bless these aspects and people, and no matter who is, maybe even the people who's damning you, you are blessing them. uh, we are co-creating a different world. We are co-creating a different vibration available for everyone. And this is what the card of the crystals are telling us about Bait as well. It's about keeping an open attitude and an open heart. So keep an open heart, keeping an open heart to everything and everyone. So there's no one, again, I repeat this because I think it's very difficult being a human and actually not judge. But we are so used to that, but doesn't mean that we have to do that way. So when we are claiming our divine self, we can realize that for the creation, for our higher self, for source, there's no one left out of the creation. Because if they are existing, have the right and the uh, not just the right, but they have to exist because they are existing. So Beit is asking us to bless that, to bless the fact that there are many things that we probably do not like, but that they do exist. And they for sure have a purpose. I've been seeing news and stuff like that, and I think in times of great crisis and chaos, also there's people that are showing up with the open heart to show also solidarity and kindness, and not being just afraid and paranoid about what is going on, but it's also being uh, being present and being able to open your heart while these things are and these events are developing. And that could be a blessing behind those events that we can call as horrible or horrific or stuff like that. So, anyway, Beit is asking us to bless everything and everyone. And you can try, we can try. And the outcome of those actions, of what I'm telling you, is Kaf. And Kaf is talking about a breakthrough. And if you can see that little red dot, or yeah, the little red dot in the middle, well, it's more like an energy expanding from the center that is red, is really reflecting the passion, the nature of passion and fire again. But in this case, is really about the the breakthrough that we are creating through this different perspective. Because the moment we are not longer separating, and now it came to me again, um, Beit is a number card 2, is number card 2, and Kaf is number card 11. So we have again the energy of the 2, the energy number 2. But two is kind of the two is basically a more mundane energy, and 11 is really kind of the higher octave of the two. And two is also about um, you are me and me are and you are me and me are you, let's say. So we are mirroring each other, we are recognizing each other as part of the same, as part of the one, let's say. And CAF is talking about this breakthrough, and then we have the ruby. And ruby, the crystal of ruby, is also talking about love. Love and passion again, we have the same red color. And so it's like creating through this new perspective that Bate is giving us of being blessing everyone, so not dividing and separating and judging and feeling disarmed by that and disempowered. We are also creating a breakthrough, not only for our individual lives, but for sure we are also creating a ripple effect, and also um, we are presenting this energy in the world. We are embodying the energy of, let's say, the non-division, the divine and cosmic mother of um, really bringing everyone in and really embracing everything and everyone, no matter what you do, no matter how you are, no matter what you believe. We are just embracing and blessing everyone, and that creates really a breakthrough in our experience in this world. So these are the energies of this month. I think they are quite particular. The challenge, let's say, or the uh, what is asking from us is quite how can I say? It's something that is very different from. We are not used to do that. We are not used to not judge the things that we see outside. We are not used to not tag something as good or bad or no. And and this is very difficult, I think. But if we can do that, we are going to really see, let's say, some sort of breakthrough outside in our lives or in the world at large, eventually, I think, as well, because this is how we change our experience on this earth. So I hope you have a wonderful month of March. Be safe, take care, and I see you next time. Bye bye.